And welcome back to What If. And we're doing on part two now of what if Gohan had turned Super Saiyan against Raddtiz back in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. We ended off with Goku and Gohan and basically defeating Vegeta and pushing him off. So that's where we're gonna start off right there. Now, when it comes to the Z fighters and everyone else, life's gonna return pretty much the same. Goku's gonna train as he usually does. Piccolo will, train. Gohan will probably do some light training here and there, but he's probably going to be sticking mostly to the books per his mother's request, per Chi's request, and Goku. There's no strict issue for Gohan. There's really no reason for Gohan to be training, except he's not the strongest because Goku can also learn Super Saiyan, but he can Super Saiyan. So I imagine that every now and then he'll train with Goku just to keep his skills up. That I think is going to be the big thing. Gohan doesn't lose any power, but doesn't gain any power at this time. Likewise, all the Z fighters will do their minor training and things along those lines. Now, what happens with Vegeta and Frieza? Well, I fully believe that Frieza comes to Earth to go after the Dragon Balls. Remember, the Dragon Balls are still there, so there's nothing to stop him from going to Namek, or going there, because he knows there's Dragon Balls there. He doesn't know there's Dragon Balls in Namek. He assumed there were, just like Vegeta also assumed there were Dragon Balls there. So he learns from Vegeta, because I believe that there was they heard in on the scout or something like that. So I believe that's how they found out. Vegeta decides to, play along and, do the whole groveling at Frieza's knees and stuff like that. He's going to bite his tongue. Saiyan pride in my pride. He's going to do that. Just so he can get a shot at the Dragon Balls again. So they're going to head there. Now, I fully believe that King Kai senses this and warns Kami. And that Kami basically collects the contacts to all the Z fighters, warns them about the incoming threat they have about it. And now, here's the thing. We don't know where Frieza is. We know it took Vegeta, wherever he was located, about a year to get to Earth. So, for a time frame, we're going to use that as well. Now, here's the thing. Is that, King Kai talks about it, we're going to train with you guys. No, there's not much else you can use. You can use the time chamber a couple more times. You guys can. Goku can't. But King Kai has worked out something where, we've worked out something with King Kai. It's like, who's King Kai? It's like, he's basically one of the guy who oversees this section of the universe, basically. He's ranked higher than I am and all that stuff. Is that we're going to have you train in the other world. Not with King Kai, because frankly, besides the Spirit Bomb, there's nothing King Kai could teach Goku in this stage, now that he knows Super Saiyan, that Goku doesn't already know. Like, Super Saiyan is a far better multiplier than the Kaioken is, just because it's a consistent, guaranteed multiplier of 50, as opposed to Kaioken, where you have to level it out. But basically, he says, okay, I'm gonna send you to the other world, and you're gonna train with them. So he goes and trains in the other world for a year. Meanwhile, everyone else is gonna train. Now, everyone else will probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of, and this is a Gohan and Piccolo are gonna train for a while. Now, I think Piccolo beforehand has has overtaken Gohan. I think if Gohan stood around 20,000, I think Piccolo's around 25,000. Likewise, when training between them for a year, I think they're probably going to, because now their powers are much greater, the multiplier isn't going to be quite the same. But I think they'll even them out both roughly around 100,000 at that point before they get before they decide to use the chamber a week prior before Frieza shows up. Likewise, the other guys are going to train as well. They'll probably get to somewhere in the neighborhood of, and I did not do this math right, because they're going to train beforehand. So they're going to train there. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Train and okay, I'm going to put just getting some rough numbers here. Gonna do that. And we're going to put these guys right around here. And I'm going to put Yamcha there. Okay. So now that we're fixing that up. So they're all going to train. I'm putting Tien's still going to be the strongest, around 20,000. Chaozu's going to be the weakest. I'm going to say around 7,000. Chaozu doesn't progress the same way the other fighters do. It's just, I'm pretty certain it's just the nature of his power. Isn't like he's not a true physical martial artist. It's psychic. His psychic abilities are stronger than the majority of them. So Chaozu has always been the weakest seed fighter. Krillin is going to be around 12 million. Yamcha's going to be around 11 million at this point. The reason I just decided because it's Krillin. Who cares about Yamcha? No, still. And then basically they're all going to take their turns in the Chime Chamber. Tien and Chaozu only have one other time, so they're going to make the most of it. And this time they're going to get like a full 10 times. I think both these rods are going to stay in there the full amount of time. So, Tien goes and he comes out and he's around 200,000 at that point in terms of full on power level. Chaozu, not so much. Chaozu, I will say, is not going to get a 10 times. He's probably going to get closer to around 7 times, which would still put him up to 49,000, which still puts him vastly superior to a lot of fighters. Krillin and Yamcha both go in. They both go 10 times, so 110,000 for Yamcha, 120,000 for Krillin. And then Piccolo and Gohan go in. Now, they've both been in once, so this is the last time going in their lifetime. And I think that they both take a 10 times multiplier, but I think Gohan goes a little beyond that. I think he actually takes like a 15 times multiplier. So for like 1.5 million, Piccolo ends up at around 1 million. Now, here's the big thing. I think that Gohan still reaches the perfect Super Saiyan form. The reason I say that is, initially when Goku was showing off that Ultra Super Saiyan form to Gohan, Gohan was amazed by that, but then Goku basically said, nope, this isn't going to work. Likewise, I think Gohan discovers like the Ultra Saiyan form, or like the Ascended Saiyan form, but Piccolo, being like the smart fighter he is, just basically says like, look, no, you gotta figure out a way to slim this down. You can't lose speed against something that, from where we're described, we need all the help we can get. So I believe he does reach a perfected Super Saiyan. Piccolo also sees the hints of Super Saiyan 2 in Gohan, but he's less likely to try to nurture that rage as Goku was hoping for in that. So yeah, they train. That happens. Now you're wondering why I haven't gotten to Goku yet. Well, I'm going to save Goku. So what happens here is, they sense Frieza coming, and now at the moment, Piccolo and Gohan are more than enough to, take on Frieza in base form at this point in the series. However, here's the thing. When they're arriving, they're going to hone in Earth. They got a ship. They got all this tech. I'm certain they have power level readers on that freaking ship. And here's another thing, is that Frieza knew his second form power level was somewhere around 1 million, which is a calculated number. So he had to have calculated it some way. He must have, like most scouters, unless they're calibrated for such, can only go so high in terms of power level reading. And then they just break. They can't handle the strain. He must have technology on his ship that allows him to read higher power levels than that. And that means they can easily scan for areas and scan the power levels, and they can even say, Lord Frieza, there's powers there stronger than you. And then Frieza's like, what was that? It's like, well, it's right here. It's like, And even Frieza's like, there's warriors on this planet. Well, that's right. Vegeta did. There was some mention of a Saiyan that could transform, a Super Saiyan, but he's actually seeing these numbers. I imagine he'd still kill the guy. Like, stronger than me. He sees the numbers. He realizes this is actually reading. It's like, is this thing broken? It's like, no, it's reading right, sir. So Frieza says, well then, I'm gonna actually have to go down there. And so I think Frieza decides, no, I actually have to transform. I have to go into my final form as it, because yeah, reading at 1.5, 1 million, 1.5, just respectively, he would have to be in just his base form suppressed just to be able to edge them out. So yeah, he arrives in his final form. Basically, all the Z Fighters come. He has the Ginyu Force with him as well because reasons. Excuse me. So more or less, Piccolo and Gohan say that they'll take on Frieza, and because everyone else knows they can't take him on at the moment. And then the Ginyu Force comes in. They take on the remaining Z Fighters. The remaining Z Fighters pretty much whole-handedly beat the Ginyu Force. And Tien beats the living crap out of Gin. Tien's not someone who's going to let his opponent get away or like give his opponent chances more. So he's probably going to take out Ginyu before he can he can use a changing ability. Meanwhile, the fight between Frieza and Gohan and Piccolo has started, and initially, it's Frieza who's on the edge because you got two individuals who have powers of 1 million or over 1 million, and Frieza's somewhere around the 3 million marker right now. Then Gohan, I imagine, transforms into Super Saiyan, and that puts his power roughly around the 75 million marker, and just completely start to wail on Frieza. Frieza goes to about 50% of his full power at this point. Because he would wail on Frieza, but Frieza would be able to survive long enough to go 50%. Gohan's still stronger, but it's not by much now. Now those are a much smaller gap, and now they're duking it out very whole-handedly. But Gohan's still having the edge, so Frieza just says "screw it," and then goes full power, and then immediately starts to wail on Gohan. Who, let's be clear, in terms of a power difference, Goku at 150 million versus Frieza at 120 million. There was a 20% difference between the two of them, basically. And Goku still pretty readily handled the fight, but Frieza could hold his own pretty well. In this, the disparity is a lot bigger now. It's almost 50% at this point, and Gohan now is in the losing side of the fight, and is like, now perish with this planet, filthy monkey. And right as he's about to take out Gohan, he just suddenly has a boom, and someone's grabbing his arm, and it's Goku. Goku is instant transmission there in Super Saiyan, and is now just basically just breaks his arm. Now, why does Goku instant transmission there? He has not learned the instant transmission. Well, remember, he's now been training in the other world with all these fighters for a full-on year. He learned the fusion dance from the Metamorans in the other world. I have to imagine there is someone in the other world that knew the instant transmission. So I would imagine that he learned it from someone. Now, where is Goku's power at this point? I imagine him to be somewhere around the level of around a 1 year training hardcore in the other world with so many fighters and things along those lines. I'm imagining around 5 million is what his base is. And since we've established that he can go Super Saiyan in this timeline at this point, then his power level is now around 250 million in just a standard Super Saiyan, which he has also figured out, basically perfected Super Saiyan training hardcore in that form. So now he's just there basically crushed Frieza's hands. He sees his son basically they're mangled and broken, but still alive. He just is like, are you cares? Like and now Goku is just livid. So he decides to show off the fruits of his training, even though as it stands at 250 million, he's over twice as strong as Frieza. He decides to show you more, powers up and goes, ah! And then boom! He's actually achieved Super Saiyan 2. Training hardcore in the other world for a year has allowed him to surpass his limits and go to Super Saiyan 2, whereas Gohan has yet to reach Super Saiyan 2. And at 500 million, he just incinerates Frieza and basically just boom. Now, and meanwhile, Vegeta's been watching this entire thing, and now he's just I gotta go, and then he goes off. Now there is going to be a side thing with Vegeta later on, but we're going to get to that in the next part of the what if. For now, we're going to leave it at that. Vegeta has left. They have defeated Frieza. or Goku has defeated Frieza, and everyone's now just like, whoa, Goku got jacked. It's like, yes, he did. So yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it off. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do it at some point. I'll be back. Technically, this is Saturday I'm doing it on, but yeah, obviously the box office will be up by the time I've had this up. So thanks for watching. And this coming week is the week of who would win, so just pay attention for that. And later, folks. Have a good